Mentioned Chipper earlier. When you got out of prison and knew he was from Mansfield, since you guys kind of had a similar story growing up on this side, but then representing West LA Crips, did you and Chipper ever get a bond going over the years?
Absolutely. Me and Chipper never had a falling out. You see what I'm saying? From the time we was kids at 24th Street Elementary, you know, it kind of blew my mind because I thought Chipper was gonna be a Blood.
I think Chipper was a Blood.
He might have been
Yeah.
from 20s down the street because, you know, the Cimarron Boys was a football team, just like we was the Gramercy football team. They weren't gang bangers, but where they're located and some of the dudes on the team, they're going to grow up to be Bloods. You dig what I'm saying? So like it was a little dude named Lil Ronnie. Lil Ronnie got killed early on. It's a dude named Lil Swanee. You know what I'm saying? Lil Swanee was a Blood already because he had some older brothers or something that was already gangbanging. So little dudes like that, they really didn't even have no choice. They kind of like was bred into it. But the Cimarron Boys, you know, the way I recall, I didn't hang out with them down there, so they might have been claiming Blood already. You know what I mean? Man, I can give you stories about a whole lot of people that went to 24th Elementary School. My little partner, little curly-haired Lloyd, right? Curly-haired Lloyd Freeman. Not Lloyd Freeman, because it's another Lloyd, Lloyd Echoes. Lloyd Freeman. Lloyd Freeman, little curly-haired Lloyd grew up right here in the Deuce 520s. He grew up to be from 30s. You know what I'm saying? And I seen him later at Uncle Jam's Army, you know what I'm saying, in like 84, and he was with a pack of hard. I was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? And that was probably the last time I seen him, but he grew up with me and Donald Brim.
Well, most of these guys turned in their teens, though.
Yeah, you know, man, check this out, man. Let me tell you how I feel about gangs. You're from where your parents live, right? You don't make those decisions on your own, independent of external factors and dynamics, right? So people be talking this hood and keeping it 100. You know, you can't keep it 100 with nothing that you don't own, bruh. Period. You know what I'm saying? So that be, you know, that's why right now there's a bunch of dudes that claim neighborhoods that don't live in them neighborhoods. You see what I'm saying? Because they didn't own nothing on the block. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them dudes who still claiming them neighborhoods, a lot of the other people done moved out of them neighborhoods. You see what I'm saying? So that's like a stage in your juvenile growth and development before you making decisions as a man.
Yeah. Okay, so let me ask you about a couple of people. You mentioned him a little while ago, Santa Claws.
Yes, sir.
Very, very famous Rollin 20 Blood.
Very, very notorious name, absolutely.
And he got killed in '93, just a few blocks away from where we're standing right now. What's your first recollection of hearing about him?
Hearing about him, hearing about antics, Santa Claus hats and, you know what I'm saying, and suits and things of that nature. You know, I've heard a lot of stories. I can't confirm, you know what I'm saying, because like I said, I didn't run with Santa Claus or nothing, you know what I'm saying? It's just a name, like Crazy B, but when I did later meet Santa Claus was some years later when I had come of age. You see what I'm saying? So it was a different dynamic at that time, and unfortunately, he succumbed to some habits, that a lot of people do, and so he wasn't the former Santa Claus that people knew of when I seen him and I met him, in the physical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, did he ever come on Gramercy?
I've heard stories of him coming on Gramercy, but I was never on Gramercy when he came on Gramercy until, like I said, when I met him later, which is in the early '90s, and he wasn't Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Kenny.
Yeah, I know Kenny. I know Kenny from high school, and I remember they started lifting weights and and all that, because we was all on weight training. We was all playing football, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. So I remember Kenny, just him and that whole crew. I remember him and that whole crew. I didn't never hang out with Kenny, you know, myself personally, but I know him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was Wendell and Wayne a part of that crew?
Yeah, man. Wendell and Wayne are a little more familiar because, like I said, James and Landry were two young dudes who lived in the building, and they were a few years younger than me, and they played football with us. They were on our. We had two teams. We had the big team and the little team, right? So they played on the little team. They had cousins, and they invited and introduced me to their cousins, and their cousins were Wendell and Wayne and Yvette. Can't leave old pretty, sexy chocolate out of this here.
Now, all these guys, I don't know if at the time when you knew them, they were either already Rolling 20s Bloods or future Rolling 20s Bloods.
They were future Rolling 20 Bloods at this time. We talking about, you know, like I said, 79, 80, you know what I mean? But like I said earlier, Landry told me long time ago he was gonna be a Blood. You know, and I'm talking about that's probably like 82, somewhere around that time, you know what I mean? So, you know, he did his thing, you know what I mean? And I wasn't surprised, you know, I wasn't surprised.
Okay.